Recording.
How's it going? Tonight is the first time I'm going to make something for you on camera, and this is a recipe that you can use almost any vegetable in your house. As you can see, we have a cucumber, we have mushrooms, tomatoes, a little bit of broccoli, 2 banana peppers, a carrot, cauliflower, half an onion, a couple baby red onions, and a bunch of garlic. And for spices, we're going to make our own salad dressing, so we're going to season this how we want, like an Italian type style. And we're going to use apple cider vinegar, ginger, basil, turmeric, oregano, sea salt, and garlic powder, black pepper, and extra virgin olive oil. Later in the clip, we'll talk about the seeds you can put on top, but for now, this is what you need to make a salad. But like I said, you could use anything that you have in your fridge. So let's get started. First off, I've chopped a bunch of garlic up, and I'm going to just throw that in there. And in the beginning, I always add like, some water, so my salad dressing is diluted. This is probably about a cup of water, 8 ounces. And we're going to use some, just at the beginning, just a little bit of apple cider vinegar. What's nice about apple cider vinegar, it's a detoxification agent. If some people even say that even though it's acidic in nature, it will still push you toward the alkaline state, and it's good for diabetes and weight loss. So, the more of this you consume on a daily basis, the better. It's just a really good thing to have in your diet. And also, what's nice about the apple cider vinegar and lemon juice, which we're not using right now, is it will soften your vegetables, and say if you have a sharp onion, it will make the onion less sharp. So let me just get cutting right here. Onions are just tasty. Gotta always have onion, or at least I enjoy onion in almost all of my cooking. And it's important to put the harder, stronger vegetables in first, because it gets a better effect with the vinegar, to lessen that sharpness that you're going to get. So I just put in a Spanish, it's a sweet, lighter onion, and I always like the farmers markets. Farmers markets are excellent. You're supporting your locally grown crops. You're not giving your money to the gas companies to get your foods here from South America. So anytime you have a chance to go to a local market, I would suggest to. I like to support my farmers. And they use less pesticides than the commercial products. So, they're healthier for you too. It's a win-win situation. And most of the time, you can actually find some of this stuff for pretty cheap. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm just adding vegetables as I chop into this large can with apple cider vinegar and water, and that's softening the vegetables. Like I said, it's really important to have onions and your peppers first. The reason being is they become softer. The spiciness can permeate through the entire dish, so you're not just going to take a bite of pepper if you just threw it in at the end. Yeah. I'm not talking really much about peppers. I just enjoy the flavor, so I always put a pepper in. It just so happens right now I have hot peppers, the banana peppers, and these ones are hot, so it's going to give my cooking a little bit of a kick. Just, throwing stuff in. If you have clean hands, which you should have when you're cooking, you can just, go with it. And I chop my stuff at a bigger piece, like bigger size. It doesn't really matter. It's really what you're comfortable with making your salad. I would also suggest, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I would suggest really trying to make your own salad dressings. It's so much healthier than any commercial bought product. It's just, there's none of that crap in it. Like, I have a bachelor's in medicinal chemistry, so when you look on the back of a salad dressing, you see these chemicals, and you know that they're not really supposed to be going in your body, and they affect your immune system. So try to stay away from those as much as possible. Next, we're going to talk about cauliflower. Cauliflower is something that should be in your diet like 2 to 3 times a week. has an antioxidant, it's high in antioxidants, and it has an antioxidant and anti-cancer agent called indole-3 carbinol. And that's something that's being studied for medicinal research. And yeah, it protects against cancer. So that's really important to have in your diet. You know, there's toxins in all of our lifestyle, all around us. And you know, one thing you can control is the foods you eat. You know, and something with an anti-cancer property to it, I put my money on you'd reduce your risk of getting cancer. You know, and you're assisting your body in maintaining proper biological functioning. You know, like I said, just like I do is just varying sizes. I mean, I like to chop quickly because I'm pretty hungry. Like I said, hands are clean. So you just, you know, throw it in. Oh, the best part about this too is I'm a vegan, so I don't eat meat or dairy. So nothing goes bad with these horrible bacteria that could really injure you. I've never gotten sick from eating anything I've prepared. And, you know, I leave stuff out on the counter sometimes, and vegetables have mold, and I just pick off, you know, wipe off the mold spot and use the rest of the vegetable. And I believe my intestinal flora is up to par. I don't really get sick, and I never feel really bloated or indigested. I mean, I don't have meat. There's no antibiotic resistant bacteria all over my food because I don't treat any of this stuff with antibiotics. Carrots are kind of tougher, so I like to put them in earlier, you know, to soak in the vinegar. This is a lot more fun when I don't have my glasses on, because then I can't really see when I'm cutting, and I actually do better sometimes without my glasses on, not being able to see. But, you know, we don't need to lose a finger for cooking. Haven't done it yet. And knock on wood, I hope not to. Oh, as you can see, if you watched the other video from before, how I was retarded with my coconut water, right there I have the coconut without the shell. I ate out the insides of it, and I'm using it as a compost. Little dump. I like to compost too. It's very important if you're going to have a garden to give back to Mother Nature. Allow that soil quality to be as good as it can be. So I just chopped the broccoli, you know, just in nice pieces right here. And as you can see, give that a swirl. You know, just a jambalaya of different fruits and vegetables in a pot with liquid, which is water and vinegar. Now I'm going to add some oil. Now, this is where it depends where you're at on your healthy diet. Me, I can use this fats. It makes my skin shiny. So I use a lot of olive oil. And it's not a problem for me. I'm going to add some salt in now too. Salt has a good property of softening vegetables as well. So I'm going to add salt. That's another thing. I don't have high blood pressure. My blood pressure is low. I can add plenty of salt for flavor. Now mind you, when you completely cut out all the processed foods from your diet, you can have as much salt as, well, not as much, you can have a lot more salt because none of your foods contain high quantities of salt that processed foods do contain. Next, I'm going to put the cucumber in. I always like to put the mushrooms and the tomatoes in last. Tomatoes, when they're fresh, they just give it a nice pop, and I like it a lot. That's just my opinion. A lot of my other cooking that I do, I always, when it's actually cooked food, I always put uncooked raw tomatoes right on the top at the end. I also got this cucumber from a farmer's market, and I think I got like 15 cucumbers for $3. So I've been eating a lot of cucumbers lately. I give them to people too. You gotta share. I like to share my food. It's I don't know. There's something about it. It brings people together. I believe that a lot of problems in the world would be solved if everyone was adequately fed. I think it's important to be properly nourished. So now mushrooms too. Mushrooms are amazing. They have a high amount of chromium in them. There's trace minerals, and they're not a plant. They're a fungus. It's like between plant and animal. And since I don't eat animals, this kind of gives the texture of meat. It's really enjoyable when you're having a salad, and you haven't been eating meat in a while, and you're missing the meat texture. Think about it. How many times have you eaten a piece of chicken and enjoyed it if it was completely unseasoned without the skin? We always put these vegetable seasonings on it, and you're really just tasting chicken enhanced with vegetable flavorings. So this gives the meat texture in your meal that you need, or that you're looking for. And when you bite into a mushroom, you would swear it's a piece of beef, without the chemicals and whatnot they put in our beef nowadays. Another thing you might be thinking too, like, how can I eat this for dinner and be satisfied completely? Well, according to doctors, Dr. Campbell actually, this is from the Forks Over Knives documentary, and they say that as long as you're not calorie deprived, eating foods like this, you can't be protein deprived. And a good way to think about this is when do people, our species, grow the most? It's when they're being developed. That crucial age, when they're just being born, and what do they have to eat? Breast milk. The content of breast milk is 3% protein by calorie intake. So you have a 3% protein where you're doing the most growth you can be. So it's really interesting to think that we need all this protein for some reason. And every one of these vegetables are living cells. Everything has an enzyme, and all these enzymes are made out of amino acids, hence proteins. Right now I'm cooking from me and my roommate Piper, so if I was at an event, there'd be more health code rules being followed, but for my own kitchen, where both of us are extremely healthy, if I'm using my hands, eating something here and there, we're not going to get sick. Most of this stuff, like you use this apple cider vinegar, and if you use cayenne pepper, there's antibacterial properties. Actually, in the oregano that I'm about to use, there's antibacterial properties in that. So you're just more prone to be fighting bacteria by just eating this food. You're giving your body these chemicals. You can't look at all chemicals being bad. You can just think to yourself, and this is a thought point that I want you to contemplate for a while. What's the difference between a drug, a chemical, and a vitamin? They're just classifications of organic molecules. And one's found in nature that you'd normally be eating, most of the time are pretty good for your health. They help you. So tomatoes, absolutely delicious. I did make a mess here, so I will be cleaning this up after the video. Not that bad, but more to compost. Let me just clear this out of the way real quick.